Looking to raise a bilingual, trilingual, or multilingual child in the upcoming year? Get started with a good plan. Download my free language planning template and spend just 20 minutes with me to craft a tailored language plan that fits your family's unique needs. Hello everyone, my name is Kayi and welcome to my channel. For those of you meeting me for the first time, I'm a UK-based mom raising my two children to be trilingual in Chinese, Russian and English. I am a professional translator and a proud member of the Chartered Institute of Linguists. I'm also the author of Bilingual and Trilingual Parenting 101, which has sold thousands of copies on Amazon since 2021. This video is part of a mini-series designed for parents just beginning the multilingual parenting journey, so be sure to watch my other video where I walk you through a complete 5-step process that will help you get started. So to get the most out of this video, I strongly suggest that you download the template using the link in the description box below so you can follow along in real time. You can print it out or just have it open on your laptop or tablet. You will get so much more value out of this video if you actually sit down and write out your plan while watching this video with me or after watching this video. So go ahead and pause this video if you have to, download the template absolutely for free and we'll get started. And feel free to pause at any point while watching this video if you need a bit more time writing things down. So why is it important to have a plan? A plan helps you stay on track, especially on those days when it feels like nothing is working. It gives you a framework to refer to and adjust as your child grows. And it allows you to map out how to achieve your long-term goals. Plus, it's a useful way to track progress and identify any obstacles early on. Okay, are you ready? Let's begin. So now go to page 2 of the PDF. You see a page titled About Us. This is all about your family. Let's write down the name of your child and their age. What's the majority language where you live? If you are unfamiliar with this term, the majority language is the language spoken by the majority of the population where you are. For example, if you live in the United Kingdom, the majority language where you live is English. Next, write down your target language or languages. This means the language you would like your child to speak. Now, write down your child's current level of proficiency in the target language or languages. If they are a newborn or a baby, they probably don't have any proficiency just yet, so you can leave it blank if you wish. Otherwise, just write a few words describing how proficient your child is right now. For example, you can write something like, he or she can say 10 words in Spanish, aged 18 months. Now, write down the reason why you want to raise your child to speak the target language. Is it because you want them to be able to communicate with their grandparents, for example? Or is it because you are considering moving to a country where you need to speak a certain language? Knowing your why is super important because, trust me, raising a multilingual child is not easy. There will be times when you feel like giving up, but having a compelling reason will help you stay motivated. It's like a North Star and anchor that you'll have on this journey. Great, that's page 2 completed. Now let's move on to page 3. Write out a short mission statement for what you hope to achieve in terms of your child's language learning. Are your dreams and visions for your child and your family? Be as specific and imaginative as you can. So let me give you an example. For us, our mission statement could be something like this. My husband and I would like our children to achieve some level of fluency in Mandarin and Russian so that they can maintain a stronger connection to their cultural heritage and communicate with their relatives in China and Russia. We also want them to feel more equipped and confident in navigating an increasingly globalized and interconnected world as adults further down the line. Okay, feel free to pause if you need a bit more time writing your mission statement. Now, before we move on, if you have found this video helpful so far, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel so that more amazing people like yourself can discover my content. Thank you. Now, moving on to page 4 of the PDF. This section is all about your family's language goals. First, what's your desired level of fluency in each target language? For example, your target language for your child is Spanish. Your desired level of fluency might be native level, meaning that you would like your child to be as fluent as a native Spanish speaker. Next, what's your desired level of literacy for your target language? What this means is that you need to think about whether or not reading and writing in the target language is important to you as a family. There's a crucial distinction between being able to understand and speak a language versus reading and writing a language. These are entirely different skills. For us, for example, we would like our children to have a basic level of literacy in Russian and in Chinese. For some families, literacy may not be an important goal, and that's absolutely okay too. Write down your answer, whatever it might be. Any goal is valid. Now the next question is it important to you that your child can speak as well as understand the target language? This is important because there's a form of bilingualism called passive bilingualism, where a child can understand the language but not speak it. This is a very common scenario in families where the minority language is spoken at home as a heritage language, but because of a lack of need to speak it, the child can understand it but not actively speak it. This is not a problem in itself, but it's something to be mindful of. Next question, what are the key areas of development for your child? What do they need the most support with? For example, would you like to help your child expand their vocabulary in the target language? Or maybe you would like to support them with pronunciation. Okay, next question. What challenges can we foresee? Examples could be, my child is starting kindergarten next year. They might need more support in maintaining the minority language. Conversely, you might be concerned that your child might struggle to cope at kindergarten because they currently don't speak the majority language. Whatever challenges you can foresee, write them down so you can plan some strategy around that. Great, I hope you are finding this useful so far. Let's move on to the next section, language strategy. You'll find it on page 5 of your PDF. If you're not familiar with the big 3 language strategies for multilingual families, watch my 5-step roadmap video or the video linked in my PDF for an overview of the 3 strategies. So on this page, pick the strategy that's the best fit for your family. You can also choose a combination of the above and add your notes in the space below. Now let's move on to page 6. In this section, we'll plan how we are going to apply our chosen language strategy, okay? First question, let's decide who will speak the target language or languages to the child, i.e., which parent, grandparent, or other caregivers. Specify for each target language if there are more than one. Using my own family as an example, I could write something like Chinese, mom and grandmother, Russian, dad, English, the wider community. Pause the video if you need a bit more time writing this down. Next up, ask yourself, when do you plan to introduce the target language or languages? For example, if you're still pregnant right now or you're planning to raise your newborn baby to be bilingual or trilingual, you might write down that you plan to introduce the target languages from birth. Let's look at another example. If you are a Chinese family where both parents speak Chinese and you are raising your baby in England, the UK, you might decide to introduce Chinese from birth, but wait until kindergarten to introduce English. Now, let's decide in which settings and at what times of the day will each target language be used. This is especially relevant if you are using some version of the time and place strategy. For example, imagine this scenario. You and your husband are raising your child to be trilingual in German, French, and English while living in Australia. You might want to write down that at home you only speak French, and on the weekend you only speak German, and at kindergarten your child will speak English, and so on and so forth. Obviously, this is just a hypothetical example, but the essential idea is that you want to think about how each of the target languages will be used or incorporated into your child's routine. Feel free to pause the video if you need a bit more time to complete this section. Okay, now we are moving on to the resource checklist section on page 7. First up, human resources, HO. Who can help your child gain more exposure to the target language or languages? Write it down. For example, this can be a grandparent, a nanny, or an au pair. Now you see a table in the PDF with a list of materials that you can use or should consider using. Which of the following materials do you already have or need to source? Obviously, not all of these will be relevant or necessary for your family, and conversely, some things you want to include may not be on this list. But I hope this checklist will serve as a good starting point. I have included the following items. Colorful board books for babies. These are really wonderful resources that every family should have. Storybooks for slightly older children. Seriously, reading is the best thing you can do to help your child gain fluency in any language and expand their vocabulary and range of expression. So I highly recommend that you fill your home with as many books as possible in the target language. Okay, so next up, vocabulary books. For example, Osborne's First 100 Word series, which I highly recommend. You can, of course, also check out a series of bilingual picture books that my sister and I have created, links down below. Next up, language flashcards, which can be helpful for learning and retaining vocabulary. Although I do find that children learn vocabulary best in context, i.e. through daily conversations and seeing vocabulary in a storybook, for example. Okay, the next item on the checklist, worksheets. These can be helpful for building literacy skills. The last item on my list, language posters. These can help create more language exposure in and around the house. Anything that creates more of an immersive language environment is really beneficial for multilingual family. Note what I haven't included in the list. Apps, TV, DVDs, and so on. That's kind of a deliberate decision, I guess, because in general, I don't recommend relying on digital resources, especially for babies and very young children. But of course, do what's right for you. Having said that, I still recommend physical books as your starting point and your building blocks initially in most cases. Okay, now let's move on to page 8. It's all about local resources. Research the following local resources and jot down some notes if applicable. Are there libraries near you where you can find books in the target language? Are there playgroups near you for families who speak your target language? Are there classes for children in your target language, either online or in person? Our kids, for example, have been going to Russian school every weekend for many years now, and it has been a tremendously useful resource. We have also tried online Chinese lessons, which had some benefit, although we have stopped online classes for now. Alright, so related to that is weekend language schools. Are there any weekend language schools that offer classes for children in your target language? Write that down. Do some research and write it down. Next one, are there any language-specific bookshops in your town? For example, there are specialist bookshops in London that sell Chinese and Russian language books where we can find useful books for our children, and it's a really nice browsing experience. So that's it. We've got to the end of our language planning template. Thank you so much for doing this exercise with me. I really hope that you've got some value out of it and that doing this plan together has given you a good starting point and the motivation to begin or continue your multilingual parenting journey. Don't forget that I have created a 5-step guide to help kickstart your journey if you're just getting started. You can download the guide and watch the comprehensive mini course I've created based on the guide. All the links can be found in the description box below. And of course, if you want a deeper dive into the intricacies of raising a bilingual, trilingual, or multilingual child, feel free to check out my book, Bilingual and Trilingual Parenting, which has helped thousands of families around the world. If you found this video helpful, I would be beyond grateful if you could hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, as that would really help me reach more families like you and help me grow this channel so I can continue making content for you guys. Help me hit 1,000 subscribers by the 2nd anniversary of my channel, which is May 2025. Thank you guys. See you in my next video. Bye.